Hey, it's me, Kevin. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why communication while co-parenting is very important, even during this pandemic. So without further ado, great day to you. Okay, so I just wanted to jump on real quick here to talk about something that piqued my interest. I was reading through some news and I saw two articles. One was about a judge ruled in favor of the mother to send the children back to school, even during COVID. And the other one was a judge ruled in favor of a father, against the mother's wishes, to send the children back to school during COVID. You see, we as parents, as co-parents, we sometimes can't get along, we can't communicate. But during this pandemic, it's very important that we find a way to communicate what's going on with the children. Because if one thing I've noticed right now during this pandemic, a lot of stuff is happening with co-parents and parents as far as homeschooling, whether they're going to send their children back to school. The decisions have to be made and somebody has to be the adult and make the decision. If the both of you as co-parents can't come to an agreement, you may have to go to court. And if you go to court, you put it in the hands of a judge who may go against one of your wishes. So as parents during this pandemic right now, it's important, as I said, it's important that we are very clear and we understand what we are trying to achieve with the children. You know, these times right now are bringing on a lot of stressors that we have not had to deal with as co-parents. You know, if the children have visitation with one parent and they don't get to see the child as much during the COVID, it brings on a stressor that, you know, one parent, they want to see their children, but we know during these times you try to cut a lot of the visitation down because you're trying to cut down the exposure the children may have. And we have to be understandable as parents to be able to say, okay, well, I understand what's going on, so I'm not going to stress out that much about not being able to see the children. But in the same instance, we have to be able to communicate. You as the parent who has the child who's going to take the child for visitation, or the parent that's going to be receiving it, have to be able to understand that things may come up that are out of our control right now. And you can't just be demanding, overbearing, trying to be able to see your children. Same as it comes to the schooling. Those two cases that I talked about, I'm quite sure that those parents probably tried to talk, but they weren't coming to some kind of agreement, and so they had to go back to the courts. You know, if there's one thing that I could tell you as co-parents, if you're going through a struggle as far as for children going back to school, whether they're going to be homeschooled, there are three things that'll probably help you out during this time frame. I'm not saying it's going to help you come to a conclusion. We're trying to come to a conclusion as an agreement between the both of you agreeing on these things. But if there's one thing that you can do first, is be compliant. When I say be compliant, I mean you have to, if there are court orders in place and there are documents in place saying that you have to do certain things, then even though that you may not have the children, we have to follow the court order. If you are the parent who has a child and the court order says that the kids must be in school a certain time and do anything, then you have to follow those rules. If it's in the some health concerns for the child, talk to the co-parent. Don't make those decisions on your own, especially if you all have joint legal custody. Talk to the other co-parent to ensure that they know what's going on. 2, be transparent. If there's something going on with the children and you want the other parent, if the child gets sick, make sure you let the other co-parent know. Don't keep it to yourself. You're not hurting anybody but yourself, the other co-parent, and the child. So you're not protecting the children from anything. Let the other co-parent know what is going on with the children at all times. And 3, be flexible. I say be flexible because if you are the parent who has visitation rights and something comes up right now during COVID and people are on lockdown for a while, they're on quarantine, or the parent doesn't feel like it's going to be safe to let the children out, be flexible. Talk to the other co-parent. And if you're the one who has the children, has the custody of the child, talk to the co-parent who doesn't have custody and let them know that, okay, so if they can't come this weekend, how about we switch to the next weekend? Stay within the court order, but make sure you communicate these things with each other. That's very important, because those three things that you do will basically set up your children for success, letting them know that their parents are able to work together to come to an agreement, even if you don't agree all the time, but it will help you out in the end as far as strengthening your communication with one another. That's all I have for you. Stay safe and be blessed.